That is all I'm hearing. And with that being said, I have not watched absolutely anything of the, whatever you want to call it, the fucking debate. And Hassan has already like fucking talk about content grind. Watch the whole debate, fucking made a whole stream out of it. We're gonna watch just like a highlight out of it. But yeah, we are here for Finkelstein calling Destiny a fantastic moron. Talk about like the positive type of boomer. Like, you're a fantastic moron. Like, I would say you fucking dog fucking piece of shit. Like, classic Balkan non-boomer sentences, but no, our boy calls him a fantastic moron. Anyways, let's see.
The Hamas guys who attacked the kibbutzim, they, apart from the attacks on the military sites, when they attacked the kibbutzim, were out to kill civilians, and they killed family after family, house after house. The Israeli attacks on Hamas installations and fight. I don't know better. No, you don't know Israeli pilots. That's the problem.
Thank God.
You don't know Israeli pilots.
And what if we use the argument, you don't know Hamas fighters? Like, what the? You don't know Israeli pilots. I've talked to many Israeli pilots, and they made sure to tell me that they do not bomb children. But what about the 15,000 dead children? They always shut the fuck up at that exact moment.
Believe that they are killing Hamasniks. They're given certain objectives, and that's what they attack. And if the Hamas is hiding behind civilians die.
Every time they target a kid, I'm sure they believe it's Hamas.
And Destiny, to an extent, is a very sad person, like a sad character, because of his heritage that he's incapable of escaping. I genuinely, like, my analysis of this person is that because he is a gusano, let's be fucking honest, at least his family that owned plantations in Cuba and then moved afterwards. Who he is and his relationship with his parents and his heritage does not allow him to embrace any sort of more radical left-wing perspectives, because it quite literally goes against who he has built himself into being. Like, his identity is ideologized and connected to reactionary mentality. I know so many people, especially in my part of the world, whose grandparents were a part of the reactionary forces instead of the, revolutionaries and so on. And it's a very common trait. It's an extremely common trait. But half of my family, like my great-grandpa, he fought for the fucking other side. Super fucked up. That doesn't mean that I have to fucking ride their dick my entire life. It's fucking stupid. No, you should just grow a pair of balls and admit that maybe people in my family tree were not that fucking nice and were very wrong about particular things. That doesn't mean betraying them or hating them or whatever the fuck. That just means in their material reality in which they existed, they thought that they were acting on the best ideas of what they think was good. And they were fucking wrong, and that makes them pieces of shit. Move on. God fucking damn it.
When they killed the 4 kids they believed. I know they believed it, even though they were diminutive size. Even though they were diminutive.
From that angle, you don't see the size.
No, they saw
you
the
don't
size.
see the size.
Let's leave aside.
Oh, I know what he's quoting from, but you've lied about this particular instance in the past. Those kids weren't just on the beaches, as often stated in articles. Those kids were literally coming out of a previously identified Hamas compound that they had operated from. They literally did. You can Google it.
With all due respect, you're such a fantastic moron. It's terrifying. That wharf was filled with journalists. There were scores of journalists. That was an old fisherman's shack. What are you talking about? It's so painful. It's so painful to listen to this idiocy.
And to be clear, on the other side, you're implying that a strike was okayed on the Israeli side, where they said, we're just going to kill 4 Palestinian children today for no reason.
Do you believe that?
Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Right. You said right. There was a hotel of journalists. Do you think that they were out to kill 4
children? Here we go.
We will never answer that.
I will answer the question.
Pilots were out to kill 4 children.
And it was approved because that was a strike. That was a drone strike. So it was approved all the way up the chain that we're going to kill children today. We're going to kill Palestinian children today.
My brother in Christ, when you are the obvious military might fighting against someone who I'm just going to exclude it's an open air prison camp and you're just basically bombing a prison right now that has 1% of its population tops as members of an actual militant force, etc., etc. My brother in Christ, it is on you to make sure that you're not blowing up motherfucking kids. It's on you to do better fucking targeting. Now I'm completely ignoring like the targeting itself and what is happening being incredibly fucked up. It is on you to make sure that the people there have food. It is on you to make sure the people there have electricity. It is on you to make sure you do not hit targets with civilians in them. And if you realize there is a target with civilians close by, you know what you do? You don't bomb it, because it's never fucking worth it. It's never fucking worth it, especially when the power disbalance between Gaza and so-called Israel is so fucking... It's not like, oh my God, do we bomb this house that has like a nuclear silo in? Or if we don't bomb it and kill the 50 kids inside, they're going to send a nuclear bomb and blow up the entirety of our fucking country. It is not like a last moment decision when you got to really like decide between the lives of a few civilians versus the lives of millions, etc., etc. Absolutely every single bombing campaign in Gaza fucking contributes to nothing except continuous ethnic cleansing. And even if you do not believe that it is active ethnic cleansing, just from the basic like liberal perspective of what is quote unquote ethical warfare, even though that is a fucking tongue twister by itself, you do not get to hit targets that have fucking civvies in them, especially when you know. Especially when you fucking know. Now just see these fucking civilians this big, this big, this big, this fucking big. Kids. You stupid fucking monkey. It's not even a fucking conversation worth having. Like, oh, but they were there. They were not there. No, you don't get to hit targets that have fucking people in them. If that was the logic of warfare, then, oh, there's soldiers in the particular city. Let's just blow up the whole city. We just get to blow up the entire fucking city to defeat the enemy that is in that particular city. I thought we grew to a point as a civilization that even when we do the most fucked up thing that we can potentially do, which is war, we don't do it the way fucking gorillas with sticks would fucking do it. No, gorillas with sticks wouldn't do it. A horrible allegory because they don't fucking have F-150s and fucking weapons of mass destruction. God fucking damn, like, dude, why is this even a fucking conversation? Why is this like, oh, but this particular event versus that particular event, oh, did they know, did they not know? You don't get to bomb shit on shit that has civvies in it. And you wait, you re-strategize, you try to find a different way. You send your troops in, you do special operations, you do this and that. And most armies would fucking do that. But this army, their objective is ethnic cleansing. So they don't care about this fucking aspect of it.
Okay, answer. In 2018, there was the great march.
Yeah, F-15, not F-150. Yeah, pickup truck. No, that pickup truck looks like it could do a lot of damage, brother.
Of return in Gaza. By all reckonings of human rights organizations and journalists who were there, it was overwhelmingly nonviolent.
But organized by the Hamas.
Whoever organized
it. It's organized by Satan. Let's start
Satan.
with
by Hamas.
Okay,
no, by
Satan.
Satan. Yeah.
I agree. Let's go for the big one. The big Megillah. It's Satan. Okay? Overwhelmingly organized, overwhelmingly nonviolent. Resembled at the beginning the first intifada.
They represent the first.
Okay, not bombs. But
and this argument also pisses me off. Okay, who did it first? And in a lot of conflicts, you can't go far enough because it's so fucking complicated and so convoluted and so long. And just argumenting, oh, who did it first? That's why we get to do this, etc., is just a waste of fucking time. But with this conflict, we know. When you have a colonial project, who did it first, like who did it first, and then we reacted, and then we reacted to that reaction violently, and then we reacted to that reaction violently, and one group is fucking up the other group, etc. You could make this point like very adequately for states that have existed for a very long time. But for a colonial project, you cannot, because it has a starting point. When the colonialization began with Israel and Palestine, and this is like academic political science guys' fucking brains must be exploding at what I'm about to say right now, but there is a starting point. There is a who did it first. There is a very simple who did it first. Very fucking simple who did it first. They came, they took the land, they kicked them out, and they started fucking putting their people there. There's somebody who did it first. And almost all actions, I'm a bit of moderate here, almost all actions are allowed when you're fucking fighting an occupation, blad. You're fucking fighting an occupation. But no, let's just have the fucking circle jerk go back like Putin did in that stupid fucking interview to the 12th fucking century and who fucking originally did it first.
They make holes in the fence, obviously.
Let's continue.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm not sure Israel behaved morally in that respect.
Okay.
No. Wait. I'm willing to grant.
Even this discussion is all morally. What is more moral? What is immoral? Like, morality is a subjective connotation that you build through your actions and through your ideological belief, which you have inherited by living in a particular place, and that particular place's ideology influencing you. Okay, objective morality is fucking mumbo jumbo, cringe lib bullshit.
Please.
Especially when we read some fucking Gramsci, especially when we know that the dominating ideology and the dominating moral compass inside of a capitalist structure is defined by the bourgeois.
I'm willing to
allow me to.
You don't have to pursue.
And through the bourgeois, the imperialist, okay?
So.
But I'm not sure Israel behaved morally in that respect.
Okay.
No.
Wait.
I'm willing to grant you that.
Please.
I'm willing to grant
allow me to.
You don't have to pursue it. I'm willing to grant.
Allow me to finish.
I don't know anything about this. I'd like to.
Okay. So, as you know, along the Gaza perimeter, there was Israel's best trained snipers. Correct?
I don't know best trained. There were snipers.
Fine.
Snipers.
Okay. All right.
Editorializing.
Hey, laugh. It's hilarious. The story's so funny.
You're lying about the Great March of Return had aspects of violence to it. According, even the UN says it themselves.
Okay.
But you only collect what the UN says that you like.
You see, the problem, Mr. Morelli, is you don't know the English language.
And you don't. Absolutely every UN institution, including the mother organization, the UN, has called this an ethnic cleansing campaign. Okay? Like, the conversation should fucking end there if we're in a fight of citations. Oh, we need genuine institutions at the end to tell us. How the fuck do you even have a conversation about, like, they're killing UN people? They're killing motherfucking UN people. They're killing journalists. They're killing fucking everything.
I can read from the UN website itself. In regards to the Great March of Return, they said, while the vast majority of protesters have acted in a peaceful manner, during most protests, dozens have approached the fence, attempting to damage it, burning tires, throwing stones, and...
Yeah, and you get to fucking shoot them if they do that, huh?
Wonderful. A new
big supporter of liberal democracies and the free world, etc., but you get to fucking shoot protesters that are throwing fucking rocks at you. I am very smart. I am very fucking smart. And then ask them about the fucking uprisings against the Soviet Union when the fucking when they rolled in with the tanks. I'm pretty sure he has his opinion on that, which is a fucking stupid thing to compare because look at the people that died, how many people died there and how many people died here. What the
Molotov cocktails towards Israeli forces and flying incendiary kites and balloons into Israeli territory. The latter resulted in extensive damage to agricultural land and nature reserves inside Israel and risked the lives of Israeli civilians.
Risk the lives because they're going to hit a farm and then the Israelis won't have food. And that is a direct attack on civilian population, and that is why we get to shoot them. I know I'm oversimplifying his argument, but because it's simple. There is nothing to complicate in this fucking argument, dude. Fucking professional military snipers that you deploy on a protest with live ammo is already absolutely fucking batshit. And when you have them fucking blowing the brains out of people in motherfucking wheelchairs and literal children, have you seen a fucking sniper round? Have you ever fucking fired a rifle? The fucking impact zone is this fucking big. Okay? You need to really be fucking aiming. You know how hard it is to hit like 200, 300, 500 meters down? Half a mile for you Yanks. You know how fucking hard it is to hit someone? And then you see them popping like fucking civvies. Tuck, 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 tuck. That is not a stopping a protest force with a limited amount of usage of violence, etc., etc. They're just fucking executing motherfuckers. There's no difference between that and fucking lining them up and putting a bullet in their head.
Instead of shooting and throwing them explosives.
Talk fast. So people think that you're coherent.
I'm just reading from the UN.
Yeah, but you see,
I know you like them sometimes, only when they agree with you, though.
You got the months wrong. We're talking about the beginning in March 30th, 2018.
You just described that March as mostly peaceful.
Okay, allow me to finish. So there were the snipers, okay? Now you find it so far-fetched.
Wonderful.
Israelis
Subscriber.
purposely, deliberately targeting civilians? That's such a far-fetched idea.
Thank you very much, 999 for the sub.
An overwhelmingly non-violent march. What did the international investigation?
It wasn't a march, it was a campaign.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
whatever you want to call it.
For months.
Whatever you want to
subscriber.
call it.
For months.
Yeah. What did the UN investigation find?
Well, he just read it to you.
I read the report. I don't read things off of those machines. I read the report. What did it find? Brace yourself. You thought it was so funny, the
Wonderful.
idea
child
of
soldier.
IDF
Subscriber.
targeting civilians. It found, go look this up on your machine.
I already know what you're going to say. You're
It
going to say it found that
targeted
only one or
children,
two of them were
targeted
justified
children,
killings.
targeted journalists, targeted medics, and here's the funniest one of all. It's so hilarious. They targeted disabled people who were 300 meters away from the fence and just standing by trees.
This is true. If what
If
you're saying
it's
is true.
true.
If what you're
By
saying
the way,
is true.
just quick pause. I think everything was fascinating to listen to, except the mention of hilarious. Nobody finds any of this hilarious. And if any of us are laughing, it's not at the suffering of civilians or suffering of anyone. It's at the obvious joyful camaraderie in the room. So I'm enjoying it, and also the joy of learning. So thank you.
And this is also so fucking nasty. The joy of learning. We are here as these prepped up intellectuals debating over the moral cause of the Palestinian people, and it's such a complex debate on whether you get to blow the brains out of fucking disabled people that are 300-400 meters behind you. It's like it turns into like a zoo thing, you know, these intellectuals sitting and looking at horrific events as if they're happening in a zoo behind a cage, and then, you know, rubbing their goatees and saying, quite fascinating, quite fascinating. What do you believe, James, it was the correct thing to do here? Well, James, for the sake of the debate, I shall take the side of the Israeli sniper. You, please do take the side of the Palestinian disabled person. Let us now engage in civil debate over what should be done and what shouldn't be done. There is a sort of like fucked up aspect to it, and I know that Finkelstein and the gentleman next to him are here because they want to fucking, you know, bring more attention to the cause and the problem, and I'm in no way dissuading what they're doing in any manner of sorts. You should go to as much media as you can and fucking push this as much as possible. But the way Lex defines it as, you know, this is a civil debate in which we talk, literally has that like Western fucking orientalizing mind of us sitting down in a cultured, quiet room and fighting towards getting the most right opinion about a thing. It takes real fucking suffering and death and turns it into a discussion point. It's fucking nasty, my friend. We're really fucked up, dude. Like, we're just, like, generally in the West, we're just, like, so fucking detached. So fucking detached. And not only with things that are happening abroad, I mean, school shootings. We're just detached totally from human suffering. And it's like a little thing that we get to sit around and talk about so that we feel better and so on. I'm doing it right now to an extent. I'm doing it right now. I hope that I'm not doing it to the same extent by calling it out as what it is, looking into the zoo. But it is. It's just... But I'm a fucking, you know, what the... And that's extra disappointing because there's not much else I can do. My job is this. This is what I do. So... The only way I can contribute to this is, you know, fish in a bunch of people by saying, hi, we're going to watch Finkelstein dunk on Destiny and bring about as many talking points as I can for the Palestinian cause while I have you, 1,000 people here listening to me on YouTube and on Twitch combined. That is the only thing I'm trying to fucking accomplish. Because that's my tool. That's my tool. If I was a professional soldier, I would be doing very different things. Even though I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like to go and fight, but it's pretty impossible to enter it.
Can we talk about the targeting civilian thing a little bit? I think there's like an important underlying, not necessarily that. I think it's important to understand. Yeah, I think it's important to understand there's like three different things here that we need to think about. So one is a policy of killing civilians. So I would ask the other side, I'm going to ask all three because I know there won't be a short answer. Do you think there is a policy top down from the IDF to target civilians. That's one thing.
Right now, obviously. Right now, absolutely obviously. If not killing, then making them move from that particular territory. Sure, absolutely killing like 2 million people is not going to fly even for the Israelis. But if they can use immense suffering and death and the destruction of any sort of infrastructure to push people out of the territory that they themselves have defined as their own, then that... Dude, this is the most black and white, like, active policy of mass annihilation of a people that I can fucking think of. That I can absolutely fucking think of. And I'm from the Balkans. I know a bit about intentionally fucking massacring your neighbors, okay? And all the red flags are there. They're not red flags, they're little holes in the ground. What red flags? There's nothing to fucking put a flag on. It's all just fucking ground now.
The claim that you're making,
Deliberately,
the claim that you're making is that multiple levels of the IDF signed off on just killing.
Because the IDF is this Western institution that fights wars in a Western manner, they have many systems in place there to make sure that absolutely every single strike, every bullet fired, and every bomb dropped is approved by people inside of that particular institution, and that is what minimizes the amount of damage that they are doing. Let's agree with that notion. Then why the fuck are 30,000 people dead? Why, if there are so many systems in place to keep a check on them just randomly offing Palestinians, why are so many people dead? How many would be dead if there was no like 5 different systems, checks and balances when it comes to the mass annihilation of Gaza? How many people would die then? What kind of, like, this is an anti-IDF argument. Like, if you say that in order for you to drop a single bomb, it needs to go through 10 fucking people, that means that 10 people approved it. That further implies that it is institutionalized in the IDF, especially during the last 4 to 5 months, the ethnic cleansing campaign of Gaza. That it's agreed upon with everybody from a major corporal lieutenant to up to a fucking general. That exactly every single bomb dropped is dropped because of the policy of pushing this particular population away. And if they don't want to move, they fucking die. Because they have a perfect fucking premise to do it under, which is we're targeting the fucking militants.
I have no idea what
That's
motivated
great. If you don't
them.
understand the process, then let me educate
you
you. I
don't
can tell you. I
understand
do
the
understand the
process.
process. I'm telling you. I'm
You're
trying to
really-
explain you
you're
right
in the
now.
IDF.
I mean,
No,
subscribers.
you're basic
studying
military.
the
You can
IDF.
ask anybody.
Aside
Talk
from
about
Wikipedia, can you
yes,
tell
you
me
can
what
talk
your
to
knowledge
people.
of
You
the
can talk
IDF
to
is?
people who
Apart from
work in the
Wikipedia,
military.
What's your knowledge of the IDF?
Your audience can look this up. Do you think that
Bro, the Iraqi Marxist. Bro, Israel is a liberal democracy. They
Wonderful.
will
A
never
new
kill
child
civilians
soldier.
for no reason. And if
Subscriber.
they did, they checked 100 times before they did, so they were terrorists. Exactly.
do you think that bombing and strikes are decided by one person in the field? Do you think one person
Can I
is in control of
respond
an
to that?
airplane or a
He's
drone
trying to tell you
strike?
that the
Relevant.
pilot doesn't do it on
Yes,
his own.
strike
Can I
cells have
respond?
entire
Whole
apparatuses
fire.
that are designed to figure out how to strike and who to strike. So when you say that 4 children are targeted, you're saying that a whole apparatus is
You
trying
make
to
my
murder
argument better
4
than me.
Palestinian
You
children.
make my argument
which is
better
a
than me.
ridiculous argument.
Because, really, that it's impossible at the command level. It's impossible at
didn't
the
say
command
impossible.
level. But you said that they couldn't have done it at the bottom if it weren't also
Okay,
at the
yeah,
top.
you don't understand the
So-
strength
Oh,
of the
I don't
claim that you're
understand.
Proved I'm as smart as Finkelstein.
making. You're
With
saying
all
that
due
from a
respect,
top-down level, that
with all-
lawyers,
with
multiple
all due
commanders,
respect,
all these
Mr.
people
Bonnell,
signed
do
off.
not tell me
And we cannot believe this because it's a liberal democracy and it's a Western project, etc., etc. But if the same, talking from Destiny's perspective, so many signed off, that is absolutely insane to believe. That is so unacademic of you. But if we were having the same conversation about, I don't know, the Iraq war, and you use the same argument, Saddam Hussein absolutely, through 5 different institutional levels, approved the mass killing of this or that group, then it would be absolutely okay. Because it's, let me guess, some fucking Oriental fucking brown state that is doing it. And, they believe in their God too much and that's what allows them to fucking do it, etc., etc. I'm just spewing bigoted bullshit because I know that's always the point of view that they come from. The main fucking argument that everybody uses to defend, for example, American wars versus some other wars, because they are Americans and they wage war in a more ethical manner, etc. etc., etc. That is why when they invade a country, it is different to when Russia invades a country. Blah, 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 classic fucking lib melted brain internalized racism type of fucking stupid ass fucking attitude. But here you additionally cannot use it because, like, I'm tired of repeating this. 30,000 people are dead. 30,000 people are dead. 30,000 people are dead. You cannot use the argument that they are not fucking trying to kill them or trying to expulse them from their land. Expunge, sorry. That is all I'm here.
What I don't understand.
For Palestinians.
It's true.
Children.
It's true. I don't spend my nights on Wikipedia. I read books. I admit that as a signal.
Waste of time.
Yeah, I know books are a waste of time. With all due regard,
well, they are. The only thing you take from them are 2 or 3 quotes that you use.
I completely respect the fact, and I'll say it on the air, as much as I find totally disgusting what's come of your politics, a lot of the books are excellent. And I'll even tell you, because I'm not afraid of saying it, whenever I have to check on a basic fact, the equivalent of going to the Britannica, I go to your books. I know you got a lot of the facts right.
Benny Moore's books for the listener.
I would never say books are a waste of time. And it's regrettable to you that you got strapped with a partner who thinks that all the wisdom...
he's shitting, he's dividing. Yeah, my boy knows how to do it.
All the wisdom...
I'd like to respond to what you were saying. I think the question that we're trying to answer,
I think you don't understand Israel, you know.
Let me finish,
really
please.
Understands Israel.
I think we're all...
How it works.
I think we're all agreed.
Yeah, you need to better understand Israel and how it works. You need to better understand the American empire and how it works, because if you really did, you would realize that there are so many checks and balances as compared to the barbaric states of the East, and they would never be capable of doing these things intentionally. They just unintentionally offed 30,000 people, just unintentionally. So what so the choices between intentional batshit fucking evil or accidental batshit evil, I don't care. What's the fucking difference? Are 30,000 people dead? 30,000 people are dead. I don't care if you're doing it intentionally or unintentionally. Do I care if you run over my mother because you wanted to kill my mother, or because you were a fucking drunk driver? I don't care. My mom is fucking dead, and it is because of you, okay? And you should feel very fucking bad for doing that. My mother is actually a very, very nice lady. I don't care. I don't care if it was intentional or unintentional. You're a piece of shit. You killed 30,000 people. Arguably, it's worse if it was unintentional, because, like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like a toddler has 500,000 bombs. That's fucking scarier than Hitler having 500,000 bombs, okay?
Have deliberately targeted civilians, whether we're talking about Hamas and Islamic Jihad today or previously.
I prefer the word murdered and raped rather than targeted, because it's too soft.
For what the Hamas did.
I'm not talking about.
I'm talking about this now.
Yeah, but I'm trying to answer his question.
Yeah.
Historically, there is substantial evidence that Palestinians have targeted civilians. Whether it's been incidental or systematic is a different discussion. I don't want to get into that now. For some reason, there seems to be a huge debate about whether any Israeli has ever sunk so low as to target a civilian.
We've agreed. Both said that. We've just said that this has happened here and there.
And I think
we've agreed on that.
Okay, I think
what we're saying is it's not policy, which is what you guys are implying, that they kill civilians deliberately.
If I understand you correctly, you're basically making the claim that none of these attacks could have happened without going through an entire chain of command.
For strike cells that are involved in, like, drone attacks or plane attacks,
My understanding of the Israeli military, and you could perhaps, you've served in it, you would know better, it's actually a fairly chaotic organization.
No, that's not true. Especially not the Air Force. Extremely, extremely organized. The Air Force works in a very organized fashion, as he says, with lawyers, chain of command, and ultimately the pilot drops the bomb where he's told to drop it.
In Protective Edge, was that 200 strikes in like 60 seconds, I think? I think at the opening of Protective Edge? Like, the coordination between...
You're talking about 2008.
I think Protective Edge was 2014. But I'm just saying that the coordination in the military is pretty tight.
My understanding of the Israeli military
it's very
is that it's quite chaotic, and there's also a lot of testimonies from.
Man, the Nazis really fucked up. They should have had a system of lawyers where they could sit down and find a legal manner through which to commit mass atrocities. Which Israel is directly doing. Like, they sit down with their lawyers and they're like, okay, we need to push this particular population out of this territory. The lawyers say, no, that's ethnic cleansing. First, you need to tell the wider populace in Gaza, but more importantly, Western media, that what you're doing is you are helping them relocate from those particular areas because that is where the militants are, and you do not want to kill the local civilian population. If you do it under that pretense, then it is no longer ethnic cleansing. It is you taking care of the civilian population so that it doesn't get hit by your incoming strikes. But on the ground, what you did is ethnically cleanse that particular part of the country. So what? Nazis were supposed to tell the Belarusians, hey, we are just temporarily relocating you because there's a bunch of communist cells that here we need to fight, and they relocate them to a camp where they further later on either terminate them, or if they didn't move them to the camp, they have made them leave their particular territory. Like, the result is absolutely the same. The legality behind it absolutely does not matter, or how many fucking people had to approve it or not. Again, this whole conversation makes no sense because 30,000 people are dead. Like, 30,000 people are dead. The civilians. You could. This is again either the most incapable army on planet Earth, so a baby with bombs, or Hitler too.
Israel, but be that as it may, okay, I'm prepared to accept both of your contends that it's a highly organized and disciplined force.
Thank you, Chad.
Air Force, under any scenario, is going to be more organized than the other branches. And you're saying such a strike would have been inconceivable.
I'm not necessarily saying inconceivable. I'm just saying that that would have required
you're basically
murderous intent for so many different levels. I don't think good evidence has been presented to say that.
There's no good evidence that a literal apartheid state, confirmed by everybody as an apartheid state, is actively participating in the mass murder of the people who live under their apartheid. That is incredibly unbelievable. Israel is the 101 representation of a state that absolutely would do this. What kind of analyst would disagree with this? I don't think even like Israelis themselves probably do not disagree with this. Nationalistic Israelis, at least. God fucking damn it. Let's then jump into it and click on a random point.
No, it's a good point.
Like this.
Israelis who strongly criticize their own side
Gaza.
and describe.
Let's see the Gaza part.
Is there